Welcome back to Reimagining Spider-Man. There are two videos I recommend watching before this one. There is If I Had to Reboot Spider-Man, which basically goes through my vision of a Spider-Man reboot set in the 1960s, heavily inspired by Steve Ditko. And then there is Reimagining Spider-Man Volume 1, Electro, where I went through my new origin for the character of Electro, and how I would personally portray him. These videos really seem to have captured people's imagination, which is something I'm absolutely thrilled to bits about. It means the world to me to see people making fan art of my ideal versions of these characters. And I'm sorry it took so long to make a continuation, but I do need time to dream these things up. So If I Had to Reboot Spider-Man is kind of how my first Spider-Man movie in a reboot would play out. The Electro one was kind of how a sequel would play out, but now I think I've got a nice idea for a third movie. And in this third movie, the villains we will be featuring would be Kraven the Hunter and Shocker. Once again, this video is sponsored by NordVPN, and you can get 4 months free with a 3-year subscription by using my discount code. Everything you need is in the description below, so check it out. Alright, onwards. So, obviously with the inclusion of Shocker, we would be moving a little bit into John Romita Sr. territory. Now, obviously I would like to stay with the same sort of tone and feel of the previous two movies I've kind of talked about, but I think it's sensible after two movies that are very much in the Ditko universe to start gradually easing things into the John Romita Sr. era of Spider-Man, possibly with a costume change to the John Romita Sr. style of costume as well. Peter Parker would be at this crossroads in life where he's just left high school, but he can't afford to go to college. He's still getting pictures of Spider-Man for the Daily Bugle, and he currently reluctantly works for a fish market stand in the city. So while I've aged up Peter for this one, I definitely wanted to keep in with the whole down on his luck schmuck sort of a vibe of the Ditko era. In an entertainment and hardware store just across the street from Peter's fish stand works Herman Schultz, a mild-mannered and polite middle-aged clerk with an overbearing manager who demands that he go across the street to Peter's fish stand and ask him to close up shop because he's tired of the fish smell. Herman is not a very confrontational person, and he's naturally quite awkward but very friendly about this. Peter's manager then comes in and tells Herman to beat it, so Herman returns to the record shop and is scolded by his boss, who continues to shout at him from the next room even while Herman is trying to serve customers. The next customer in line is a tall man wearing a black trench coat. He's wearing thick glasses and he has a homely smile, and he inquires about the longest radio cable that they have, before remarking that Herman's boss seems like a nice guy sarcastically. The man remarks that the world could use a lot less people like that, to which Herman responds, "Well, if I could do anything about it, hey?" Just jokingly, of course. As he's about to leave, the man stops in his tracks and turns back, and he asks, "Well, why rule it out?" To which Herman responds, "Well, it's not like I can just magic him away, I'm not God or anything." To which the man responds, "Who says you need to be?" He gives Herman an intense look, and asks, "If you could make a guy like that vanish, would you?" The man asks him again, "Would you?" Herman starts having flashbacks, times when his boss humiliated him in front of customers, in front of his own kids, his boss talking about cheating on his wife, literally throwing a customer out who did absolutely nothing wrong. The manager leaves his office and asks the man, "What is the holdup? What's taking so long? I've got other customers waiting." The man says, "Oh, nothing, I'll just be on my way. Just wanted to get a nice good look at you." So we follow the manager as he goes home, who I'm gonna call Dean Bryce, and we see a car park outside his home. Inside the home, Dean Bryce is yelling at his wife for not having any of the chores done by the time he gets home, and things get very distressing. He backs his wife up against a wall looking prepared to strike her, his face right up against her face, and then we just jump cut to the next day and he's dead on the floor. At Herman's house, he and his family are eating breakfast. While at the dinner table, Herman is opening his mail. He opens a letter, rather ominously written, asking to meet him at a cafe, signed by Sam Kraven, where it is revealed that the man at the record shop was indeed Sam Kraven. So this version of Kraven the Hunter is a bit of a far cry from his comic counterpart. No, we're not doing the whole I am Sergei Kravenov from Latin America stuff, because it's dated and it's silly. No, he would not look like a muscle-bound Freddie Mercury wearing animal skin. He would wear a brown leather jacket with wolf skin around the neck. For this portrayal of the character of Kraven the Hunter and this entire story, to be honest, I was very inspired by the FX series Fargo, especially the first season, which had a terrific villain in the character of Lorne Malvo, a character with no kind of powers or extreme physical strength or special abilities, just a ferocious, manipulative, malevolent sociopath with a twisted philosophy. Not like the Joker, not a cackling maniac, but a contracted hitman. I was kind of thinking the Lorne Malvo character would be the perfect way to modernize Kraven the Hunter, to make a rendition of that character that audiences could take seriously, and that's why Billy Bob Thornton is the actor that I have in mind for this role. Then we have Herman Schultz, who's kind of inspired by Lester Nygaard from Fargo, as Lester Nygaard is kind of the downtrodden family man, the working class underdog, who's a bit of a wallflower, and the whole thing is that Lorne Malvo basically manipulates Lester Nygaard into pursuing a life of crime, which Lester Nygaard kind of dives into head first. However, events would happen differently. Kraven's philosophy in this would be that humanity is really no different from the animal kingdom. It's all a game of survival at the end of the day. He looks to kind of police brutality and how we're supposed to trust in law and order when law and order doesn't really do anything for us. We might as well just literally eat each other. Working under Kraven is the Chameleon, who creates a number of different disguises and personas for Kraven. We wouldn't even know if Kraven is his real name, so no, we would not rule out Sergei Kravenov. Kraven would have an extremely silver tongue in times where it looks like he's about to finally be caught and taken in by the NYPD. And I'd also like to set up that Dean Bryce had connections with the Enforcers, who are going after Kraven. And because of that, they also threatened the safety of Herman Schultz after contacting customers that were in the store the night before Dean Bryce's death. Out of fear, Herman vows that he will not give away Sam Kraven's identity to the Enforcers, and is forced to kind of fight his way out of one of their underground hideouts, robbing them in the process. He uses that money to go to a black market in Hell's Kitchen and purchase Electro's old electric gloves, which have been dampened and retooled for safety purposes, now just emitting shockwaves as opposed to actually shooting electricity out of them. But where is Spider-Man in all this? Well, with this much of a ruckus going on in New York City, of course Spider-Man is on the case alongside Captain Stacy. As I said, yes, we are going into the Romita era. Captain Stacy tells Spider-Man to just stay out of it and let the police handle it. You know, let them do their jobs, let them do things by the book. But Spidey is well aware that for this much to have happened, the police are not handling this fast enough. Kind of realizing that he's more capable than he thought he was, Herman Schultz tracks down Kraven and tries to befriend him, but Kraven tries to make him swear that he never met him. Shocker sees this as a great disrespect and threatens Kraven. Kraven pulls out a handgun and shoots everybody in the room, saying, okay, you want to be partners? Help me clean up this mess. This is just as much your fault for provoking me as it is mine. Shocker stuns Kraven over the head with his shocking gauntlet, I guess, and goes on the run. Kraven now ready to kill him. Kraven is then intercepted by Spider-Man. Kraven tells him that he overheard his conversation with Captain Stacy. Spider-Man is not abiding by the law in doing this. He was told to stay out of it. Vigilante justice is prohibited. So let's not be hypocritical here. You want to drag me into the police, you got to drag yourself in too. Spider-Man explains that the difference between him and Kraven is that Kraven is a murderer. Kraven goes on to explain that he is the murderer only of people that do not deserve to live. Spider-Man asks who he thinks he is to decide that, and Kraven explains that it doesn't matter. It's in his ability to do so. He has the resources to protect the little man, so therefore it is his God-given responsibility to do so. And as Kraven words it to Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. I feel like this is something that would really challenge Peter's moral resolve. Because that's the question, is Kraven kinda right? We haven't really seen him toy with or kill anybody that was ever innocent. So Spider-Man webs him up and goes to chase the Shocker. A police officer arrives on the scene and shoots Kraven dead, completely by accident because he wasn't expecting to see him. Therefore, kinda proving Kraven right. The Shocker sees Spider-Man on his tail. He steals a motorcycle and makes a run for it, doing his best to evade traffic, but then uh-oh, there's a traffic jam. So Spidey chases after him across pavements until they reach Central Park, where Spider-Man webs the motorcycle of its back tire, flips it up, knocking Herman into the water. Shocker's gauntlets, however, because of the water, malfunction, sending a shockwave through the entire water, knocking Herman out. Spider-Man goes in to retrieve his unconscious body and calls an ambulance. Captain Stacy arrives, ready to scold Spider-Man, until a nearby crowd gather and start applauding for him. And ultimately, the outcome for Spider-Man is it doesn't matter what Kraven said, it doesn't matter his philosophy, and it doesn't matter that the police killed him, it doesn't matter that law is broken and doesn't work, it doesn't matter what other people do. He can't let that in, he can't let that affect the way he fights crime, he can't become one of them. Spider-Man must always be greater. The cop who shot Kraven dead is disciplined, while Spider-Man is thrown a hero ceremony at Times Square. The once cynical Captain Stacy warms up to Spider-Man a little bit, and also in attendance at the ceremony is Gwen Stacy, the daughter of Captain Stacy, and she hits it off really well with Spider-Man. And that's where we kind of end it. So in terms of Shocker's design, I do want to stay true to the original John Romita Sr. design of the Shocker, but kind of realize it a little bit, like I did with Electro. So Herman would usually wear kind of a yellow sweater, and over that he wears a red puffy sleeveless coat. And then once he's the Shocker, he wears a red woolen hat and a yellow balaclava, with a round pair of sunglasses over the top, as his best attempt to sort of hide his face. Now, obviously, if I were to write this into like a film or a comic or something, which I would love to do, I would obviously put a lot more thought into kind of, you know, tying these plot threads together, giving it proper resolution and everything. But what do you guys think? Comment below and discuss, and as always, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, don't forget to hit subscribe, hit the like button, and in the description below are the links to my Patreon and my Discord. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and have a great day. That's a cute outfit. Did your husband give it to you? Because you could get a way better costume from Zentai Zone. Check out their range of custom-made, tailored superhero costumes. Ridiculously good quality, value, and customization. Link is in the description below, as well as my coupon code CHANNELPUP, where you can get a discount off of your purchase. And while you're at it, why not get your suit designed by my talented buddy Dan from New Blood Dan's workshop? You can contact him via the link in the description below. Seriously guys, you do not want to miss out on your chance to be your favorite superhero and feel authentic and professional. And you don't want to miss out on that Channel Pup discount.
Can you feel the sunshine? Does it rise?